Welcome to The Bottom Line. I'm your host, Susan Kenedy. The Montgomery County Council does much of its work behind the walls of 100 Maryland Avenue. During this show, we take you outside those walls to see the fruits of their labor. We begin this time with the Long Branch Athletic Association. This group offers constructive activities for county youth who live east of Silver Spring through organized team sports. The bottom line, kids who are empowered to build self-confidence, leadership, and teamwork skills, which then positively impacts them as students and community members. We caught up with some of the youngest members of the group as they took to the turf to play soccer. For anyone who's been involved in sports at one time or another during their life knows it's a great way to make friends.
Thank you! Thank you!
And that's what the folks with Impact Silver Spring were hoping would happen when they formed the Tacoma Soccer League.
I think sports is just a phenomenal avenue to engage the community because it's just so natural for people. You know, whether they're from here or from another country, they grew up playing sports themselves, and it's just a very kind of light way for people to just be bumping into each other and developing relationships in their neighborhood.
Folks from Impact Silver Spring look for residents who can establish trust with their neighbors through meaningful conversation.
It's just such an important and wonderful partnership, again, because there are way too many children and families who just can't afford, to pay perhaps the fee for, a soccer league or sign up your children for private basketball classes and things of that nature. And this provides an opportunity for children to participate in athletics. It provides an opportunity to learn about teamwork, to learn the, importance of ownership of your community.
Julio Hernandez ran a successful youth soccer organization in El Salvador for many years before coming to the Silver Spring area. Armando was just the person Impact Silver Spring was looking for to help them weave their safety net.
Before, a lot of these teams are basically run by outside volunteers, so a lot of college students and other folks who don't actually live in the community, because there's this idea that the parents themselves didn't have the time or capacity or interest in running these teams. He's actually, I think, he's broken down that mythology, and so he's, I think, given folks kind of a model to look up to, because he's shown it is actually really possible. He has a job during the day, a lot of other things going on, yet he still comes out here 4 hours a week, spends an hour a week calling the parents, calling the kids, because he wants to, and he's dedicated to the kids, and the parents are too, and so it's really opened up a whole new realm of possibility that a lot of folks didn't think was possible.
The Tacoma Soccer League now has more than 30 parents who have stepped up to the plate. These folks have come together not only to help with soccer, but to build genuine relationships with their neighbors. Relationships they may not have had the opportunity to develop otherwise.
Well, it sends a strong message to the kids that, my parents care and they're involved in my life, and they're involved in my school, and they're involved in my community. And we oftentimes find, parents who are working 3 jobs, and, it's very difficult to make ends meet. And this provides that structured opportunity for that parent that so much wants to participate in the life of their child.
Una de las razones para poder combatir la vagancia, la drogadicción.
One really important thing is it helps in the development of the kids, so to be able to avoid having them fall into kind of some of the constant threats around drug addiction and other kind of issues that plague this community. When the parents are more involved, it shows other kind of positive alternatives to those kind of worst things, and so most fundamentally it's about the education of the kids, and they have to be involved because no one can educate their kids better than the parents themselves.
My thing is to be enjoying with my son to be a player, because that's good for the future when he can grow up, be a nice boy and don't be in the street, and don't waste the time out. Right here it's a good thing to do it for him, and I appreciate all the people that do this for the kid, and that's why I come all the time over here.
I think it's really important for the parents to be involved because it just gives them another avenue to be connected with their kids, to be connected with other parents, and to be connected with just kind of the social infrastructure of the county.
Oh yeah, we have all kind of friends, every time when I see them in the street or on the mall, they say, hey, how you doing?
Building bridges through soccer is just one of the many ways Impact Silver Spring is working to support the diversity in the community for positive change. Food, good company, and rewarding activity are the three most obvious benefits of community gardening, and it's taking off like wildfire here in Montgomery County. This trend started here when a constituent of Councilmember Valerie Irvin inquired about starting such a garden in Montgomery County, and the bottom line, 10 community gardens with more than 600 gardeners.
So here we go, Sligo Mill Overlook.
It's fair to say Ursula Sabia Suckanik knows a good sugar snap pea when she sees one.
These are sugar snap peas on the vine.
That's because she oversees the hundreds of garden plots in the community gardens that are sprouting up all over Montgomery County. And she's been doing so since the program blossomed.
In November of 2009, Councilmember Valerie Irvin requested through a formal letter to the Department of Parks to open up some unactively used parkland for a community garden program, specifically down county where it's very dense. That letter then went to the Chief of Horticulture, and he was asked to start a community garden program, and interestingly enough, there was no funding for it. So we were asked to start a program from the ground up with absolutely no funding whatsoever.
At that point, she and other parks folks started looking around for available land until officials from the city of Tacoma Park suggested what is now their first garden location, Sligo Mill Overlook. It's at these community gardens folks get to learn not only about growing healthy food, but making a contribution to their neighborhood.
We are organic. All 10 gardens are organic. We have so many children in the garden that I want the children to be safe while they're in here. You know, if they run through the garden and touch something, I want it to be, you know, at least a little bit less toxic or dangerous to them. If they choose to pick something and eat it off of someone's vine, I would like to have that safety for them whenever possible.
The demand for these gardens is so high that often there is 2 times the number of applications than plots.
The intention is that we have a huge, immediate neighborhood invested interest in the garden, so that the people who are gardening here are the people who live in the neighborhood. Hey, I'm Ursula. Hi, how are you? Good. Which plot's yours? It's the people who can walk and ride their bikes, keeping their green footprint down. It is the people who drive in and out of the neighborhoods and pass the garden every day that help to keep some of the oversight on the garden and to keep it clean and respectful and beautiful like the gardens are.
The plots cost just $50 per year, and that includes water and wood chips. The county's newest garden on King Street is one of the smaller community gardens. Located in the heart of Silver Spring, the garden has both experienced and novice caretakers.
And I'm brand new at this, so we'll see.
Many of whom have met some of their neighbors for the very first time.
I mean, here's a whole nother family getting ready to unload.
We're sort of starting to get to know other people. More than half the gardeners come from right around here, and they're of great varying degrees of experience, and they're all really willing to share.
I'm rubbing shoulders with her. And then there was a master gardener over there.
Gordon?
Yes, exactly. And then and then Anne, who's just like me, you know, kids grown, just obsessed with gardening and raising things from seed. And so I've gotten to know her really well. We've all become friends on Facebook. So I just love the whole community piece.
It kind of gives a good sense of community here.
It is, and that's the community in community gardens. That is the whole point behind this program, is not just to make the land available and let people be able to grow their own crops, but also to develop that sense of community in really tight, dense areas like downtown Tacoma Park or Silver Spring or any of the down county sites.
And this firestorm started with one resident who planted the idea with Valerie Irvin.
Valerie has been instrumental from encouraging us to start the program to offering her support, being at the meetings, making petition on our behalf with the county council, coming to Tacoma Park, coming to each of the gardens. She's been at several of the openings. She comes and speaks at some of the events that we have.
If you want more information about community gardens, visit montgomeryparks.org. When folks think about Montgomery County Public Schools, one of the last things that probably comes to mind is truant students. But just like every other jurisdiction in the state, Montgomery County has issues with students who miss too much school. The Truancy Court pilot program is designed to get that percentage of the student population here in Montgomery County to go to class. The bottom line here, a success rate that has been nothing short of astounding. Almost 1,000 Montgomery County students have been classified as habitually truant. That's less than 1% of the total student population, but it's a part of the population county officials do not want ignored. So, in an effort to keep kids from being chronically absent, officials are identifying those at risk and getting to the root of their truancy before it's too late.
I realized by the time students walk into high school, their track is already paved for them. They have to walk in from middle school with a plan of success. Seldom in high school do students move in a different direction than what they came in with.
All students should be in their classrooms on time. Thank you.
Key Middle School in Silver Spring was one of the first schools in Montgomery County to jump on board with the program. Students who are identified as habitually truant are paired with a volunteer judge who meets with students for 10 weeks to determine why a child repeatedly misses school.
The number one reason that kids were telling us they were not coming to school is they didn't have anybody waking them up. They were sort of latchkey kids on their own early in the morning. We gave them alarm clocks. As soon as we gave them alarm clocks, all of a sudden the alarm clock was getting them up, and kids are showing up at school simply by giving them an alarm clock. I mean, in some instances, it's as simple as that.
Councilmember Valerie Irvin has been a huge supporter of the program, which has recently been extended thanks to a federal grant. She says behavioral changes instead of punishment are key in getting chronically truant students to realize the importance of school attendance.
It takes a long time in Montgomery County to actually track a child who may be truant. And this program grabs them up right away. If your child begins to skip school for whatever reason or is tardy for school a lot, this is the kind of program that won't wait until your child is absent 18 days, which is what it normally takes.
Peter Gay Thompson is one of the many success stories of the Truancy Court program.
I used to always be late to classes, and well, when I was late to classes, my grades used to go down because I didn't know what I was supposed to do because I was late and I missed instruction time. I got better because of the TCP meeting, and I woke up on time and I made sure to do everything I had to do before I came to school. But I get better grades now, and I'm on a good roll.
So instead of dropping out, the kids drop in on the Truancy Court program, and the statistics are showing it works. In the spring semester of last year, 86% of the participants graduated from the program and maintained a low percentage rate of absences and tardiness.
Well, the great thing about this program and the great thing about regular monitoring of attendance is that you finally find out those issues. Those aren't really issues that someone will openly share with the school. Here are the situations, but when we find the situation, that's why we have our people personnel worker at the table. And Montgomery County as a whole, in addition to the school system, has a lot of resources. So we've helped connect people to several resources that can help them with morning child care, afternoon child care. We look at what are some different flexible things that we can do to work with a family.
Officials say this collaborative effort has been key in the success of this program. Both McCarthy and Irvin say getting those stakeholders together to develop the strategies to deal with truancy is a win-win for everyone.
So we're just so lucky that we're able to keep it in these two schools, and we hope when the economy comes back that we're going to be able to expand these programs out across as many middle schools in the county as we can get them.
These kids are great kids, they're smart kids. They have a great interest in reading, and so it's sort of encouraging. We obviously are helping kids who want to learn, who want an opportunity to make themselves better people.
And the smile on Myriam Rogers' face says it all. Her beautiful babies, as she refers to her students, are excited about the program, and in the end, she says, just want to be acknowledged. Well, that does it for this edition of The Bottom Line. For County Cable Montgomery, I'm Susan Kenedy. Thanks for watching.